The United States could not hold back. It entered the Escoda Shoal. A strong force was sent by America as a support in the Philippines after the fierce defense of China by the Philippine Coast Guard ship BRP Teresa Magbanua. The Chinese government immediately resorted to this action of America. President Bongbong Jr. spoke up to the latest aggressive action of China's defense of our ship in the West Philippine Sea. The actual video of the Philippine Coast Guard ship was shown by the Philippine Coast Guard to the public. Meanwhile, the Philippines was adamant that it would not remove our ships from the Sabina Shoal. China was angry with America for sending surveillance aircraft to the Sabina Shoal after the fierce action of the Chinese Coast Guard ship BRP Teresa Magbanua this Saturday. After the Philippine Coast Guard patrolled our encircled territory in the West Philippine Sea, where the Philippine ship was intentionally sold 3 times, China immediately launched a HYEW. Aircraft across the Escoda Shoal. According to China's report, a United States Navy P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft was seen crossing the West Philippine Sea, which is a threat to China's operations. There is a high possibility that this aircraft is spreading information and carrying out radio frequency jamming on Chinese sea vehicles. According to the PRC, the presence of a United States P-8 Poseidon aircraft serves as motivation for the Philippines to carry out provocations against China in the territory of the WPS. According to Beijing, the United States is sabotaging peace and stability in the region, and the US should stop interfering in the South China Sea issue. Meanwhile, the United States Coast Guard Pacific said that despite China's narratives of their innocence in the Philippine ship's intentional bombing, the latest incident in the Escoda Shoal showed that China is the one causing trouble in the Philippine Sea. It can be seen that on August 31st, 2024, the China Coast Guard vessel 5205 was intentionally sold several times by the PCG ship in the Sabina Shoal, 75 nautical miles from Palawan. According to the United States, this is the 5th time there has been a confrontation between China and the Philippines, where the Chinese are forcing us to leave our exclusive economic zone. According to the United States Coast Guard Pacific, there is a high possibility that the presence of the 2 naval tugboats of China could be the reason for the forceful invasion of the Philippine vessels to continue occupying the territory. Despite China's convincing of its own professionals and in accordance with the law, the Philippine Coast Guard said that their actions are unlawful. This is contrary to what some countries are already witnessing. Some of the countries that have shown resistance to the Philippines are New Zealand, Canada, Taiwan, Japan, Germany, and others. Even the European Union has already expressed its disapproval of China for its harsh actions in the Escoda Shoal. According to the Deputy Commander of the U.S. Coast Guard Pacific, Rear Admiral Andrew Sugimoto, they have set up a support cutter that is already circling the sea in the Indo-Pacific region and is providing training and assistance to its allies. Sugimoto also added to a press briefing that the U.S. Coast Guard transferred the vessels to the region in order to fulfill its commitment to ready assistance to the Philippines. In the White House's press statement, it immediately cited China's harsh actions and called on the country to stop its dangerous activities. According to the US, China should move according to international law. The US also brought China to Article 4 of the 1951 United States-Philippine Mutual Defense Treaty, in which their country is prepared to defend the Philippines, especially against such attacks. According to the US, the attack on the Philippines is also an attack on America. Meanwhile, President Bongbong Jr. spoke about the incident at the Escoda Shoal on Saturday, August 31, 2024. Malacanang said that the president's stance on the peaceful resolution on the issue of the seizure of territory in the West Philippine Sea is that the Philippines will use all diplomatic means and comply with international law in the construction of vessels in order to resolve the problem. This means a new diplomatic protest, and China will continue to bomb and destroy our ships in the West Philippine Sea in the coming days because we know that China does not comply with such aggressive actions. This is how big the hole was hit by BRP Teresa Magbanua after the Chinese Coast Guard bombed the Philippine ship 3 times. According to the PCG, An additional team must be sent to the Escoda Shoal for a thorough inspection of the wreckage and to verify the ability of the Philippine Coast Guard's largest ship to sail. At present, many Chinese ships are circling the Philippine Coast Guard. According to Ray Powell, a maritime security expert, this is the first time that Chinese ships have been sent to the Escoda Shoal, so there is a high possibility that it will be used to help the Philippine ships and remove them from the wreckage. Remember that Beijing has already ordered Manila several times to remove Philippine ships from this wreckage, which is already part of our exclusive economic zone. According to Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, spokesperson for the Philippine Navy for the West Philippine Sea, the Navy and Air Force presence and patrols will be added to the Escoda Shoal after the violent incident involving BRP Teresa Magbanua. In addition, the number of Chinese ships in the Escoda Shoal is increasing, and 52 Chinese vessels have been stationed here since last week, compared to 1 Philippine ship here. According to Trinidad, there are 47 maritime militia vessels, 3 Coast Guards, 2 Navy vessels, 1 hospital, and 1 research vessel in the Sabina Shoal at present. This is the reason why the Philippines stationed Magbanua in Escoda in April to stop the reclamation plan of China in our territory. Meanwhile, the European Union has already condemned the Chinese shipwreck in the Philippine ship in the Escoda Shoal. The EU said that such actions are dangerous, and it is against the legal maritime operation of the Philippines in our territory. What China is doing is a clear violation of international law, and it should be stopped by Beijing because these actions only pose a great threat to the security of the region. The European Union immediately called for a reduction of this tension and supported their organization in the Philippines in carrying out legal patrols in our occupying territory. The EU's statement was supported by many countries, and China has already stopped its harassment because it is against the law, and it may pose a threat to the peace of the Indo-Pacific region. China immediately resented the statement of the EU and encouraged the leadership to be objective and fair and be careful with what it says and does, especially with the issue of the South China Sea. According to Beijing, they were dismayed by the EU's accusation against them up to the issue of the CCDG bombing of the PCG ship. In addition, China said that the EU has no right to intervene and investigate because it has nothing to do with the problems in the Indo-Pacific region. For your reactions, just leave a comment below this video, and to stay updated with our next uploads, make sure to subscribe and like our videos as support. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.